For this chapter, we did ours on parody news, and parody news is basically like satire. It's news that's it's real in a sense, but it's not telling the whole truth. It's not telling the audience what is exactly being said. For example, there are such things like satire, which is the most common form of parody news, and some examples of that are The Daily Show, Late Night, Jimmy Kimmel. Uh, I would say, I forgot. Well, I'll get back to it. But in a sense, daily news is for me. It's probably the best and probably the easiest form of access to news. Because when I think of daily news, I don't think of watching the news channel. I don't think of Channel 7 or ABC. I think of things like The Daily Show because it allows me, for myself, to be able to see into the news and know what's going on in the world without having the stress, without having the biased information. Because because when I look at the news and when I see the news, I see most of the time it's the news channel trying to show you what they want you to see and trying to give you their point of view. Whereas when you see something like Jimmy Kimmel or The Daily Show or something like that, they're trying to give you a more goofy and more playful look at the news without trying to beat you down with their biased opinion. While they are still biased, it's not the same as Channel 7. They give you one point of view, and that's the only point of view you see. So for me, I feel like satire is better. It's a better way of showing people the news because most people, they don't like to deal with the drama and they don't like to deal with the ambiguity of most things. So they would rather have the lightheartedness and rather have the playful experience of the news and still get the same information without getting the terror and stuff. And especially for me, because most of my news I get off social media to come in this day and age, it's mostly memes is a good form of parody news. Memes give you the story and give you what's happening right now but they do it in like a joking way. Like we see memes now about basketball, about COVID, about the election, about all sorts of things. And memes, what they're saying is very true. But they do it in a way where you're still having fun with it and you're still doing it in a sense that's playful, it's not harming anybody. And that's the one thing I like about social media and them being able to bring out satire and parody. They're able to do it in a more, even though it's not what people would like and it's not what people would prefer. For me, it's better because it's allowing me to still be myself and still see things and see them in a true light and not have to deal with all the anger or the disappointment. So it's much better to have parody. In my point of view, it's much better to have parody and satire than it is to have Channel 7, ABC, or stuff like that. Because Channel 7, ABC, and things like that, they want to do it in such a way that no matter what you think or what you say, they're always going to be right. The point of view is never going to be from a different point of view. They're always going to give you their point of view, their perspective, and what should be the right thing. Whereas memes, satire, Daily Show, stuff like that, they're going to give you their point of view, but they're also going to show you like other avenues to look at it and other ways to do it in a more friendly way. That's not going to beat anybody down. It's not going to make anybody more. That's not going to make anybody angry or upset about what they're doing because at the end of the day, satire, although it's real news, it's still joking. And like I said before, when satire and media come together and they're joking and stuff, it's easier to take and it's easier to do things with. Because if I'm watching the news, I don't want to watch it continuously and then just at the end of it be sad and be upset like there's no hope for anything. Whereas with satire and parody, even though some things might be real and it might be sad, like this COVID virus it might be quote unquote real, because I don't think it is. With satire, it gives you the real point of view, and it still gives you ways to look at it in a better light and have a joking perspective on it. Even though some things may be real, may be present, not all things need to be taken in a serious light. And that's why I think satire and parody do a good job of. They allow you to have this real perspective on the news and what's going on, and still allow you to be yourself, be fun, and be proactive with what's going on, and without having the danger and scaredness of everything else going around, and that's why I think satire and parody news in my life will be a lot better than regular news.